If they even dare to step one foot into Belarus, we will respond with all the means in our disposal, including Russian means. So it feels like this sort of strange escalatory provocation from Belarus. But to what end? What would Belarus stand to gain from doing something like this? And of course, the other question is, like, I mean, the one explanation is that just Belarus is doing this to gauge the response from the West and Lithuania itself, like to sort of see the reaction, to see if this sort of accusation can be just levied. Like, I mean, we cannot know 100%. Like, I cannot know 100%. But it just feels so far-fetched that Lithuania would attack Belarus with drones. It just feels like such a far-fetched story. And now, with this repeated sort of intro out of the way, we can read the article about it. Belarus claims it prevented drone attacks from Lithuania. Vilnius rejects the allegation. It makes perfect sense for Vilnius to just reject the allegation. Tallinn, Estonia, a top security official in Belarus, claimed Thursday that the country has prevented attempted drone strikes from Lithuania, targeting the Belarusian capital and surrounding areas. Lithuania denied the claim. Like, just while it is true that I cannot make any definitive claims about this, it remains a fact that it just makes absolutely no sense for Lithuania to do something like this. Hello, Jack. Is that how I read your name? Jack or Yak? Welcome to the stream. They probably didn't attack Belarus. They probably want to open another front to draw resources and support from Ukraine. The problem with this is that in this case, if Belarus would open a different front, it would be a front against the entirety of NATO. That I just don't see any sense of that, you know? Like, why would Belarus want to open up a front against the entirety of NATO? Belarus is not that strong on its own. Belarus is actually on its own very, very weak. Especially without Russian support. And Russia is pretty tied up in Ukraine, you know? Like, Belarus does not have the raw strength to divert many resources away from Ukraine. Especially when it takes on the entirety of NATO. Because remember, Lithuania at the end of the day is also a member of NATO. So should Belarus do anything against Lithuania, Article 5 would be triggered. And I'm not sure if Belarus, which is connected to Russia, let's be honest, should want to have a full-scale war against NATO. There's, of course, as well the issue of the nuclear warheads that are being deployed in Belarus as well. It's a mess. What a situation all of a sudden. And nobody's talking about it, I've noticed. No Ukraine commenters are talking about this strange claim by Belarus that Lithuania has attacked it. I've noticed that it's not really on the agenda of any of Ukraine war commenters, which I find strange. Ivan Tertel, head of the Belarusian Committee for State Security KGB, told a session of the All Belarusian People's Assembly that his and other agencies recently carried out security operations which made it possible to prevent attacks by combat drones from the territory of Lithuania on objects in Minsk and its suburbs. He did not present evidence for the claim or give any details, which this already makes me feel like it's probably bullshit. Like whenever I Who's Nip Repper? I don't know that creator. Also, are you new to my stream or have you been here before? Also, can you tell me who Nip Repper is? So this part makes me really think that it's probably not true. You know, whenever a party comes out with a really strong claim, right? And presents zero evidence, zero anything, that just makes me automatically skeptical, right? Like, I'm not gonna make definitive claims as to what happened, but this sort of thing makes me skeptical. This sort of things makes me sort of automatically doubt that the Belarusian side has any merit in its claims. Because if you have a really big claim, you should be able to present any sort of evidence for that claim, right? That should be obvious. It's basically like the whole Ukraine did the terrorist attack on Russia, right? When Russia kept claiming that it was Ukraine without any evidence, without presenting any evidence ever. Like, first it was the supposedly Ukrainian car, which was not Ukrainian, the license plates. Then that the terrorists wanted to escape to Ukraine when Lukashenko sort of did a whoopsie and said actually they wanted to run away to Belarus first. Then Russia started alluding to some cryptocurrency transactions coming from Ukraine, which they've never provided any evidence. And that automatically weakens the claim in my eyes. Oh. Well, I hope you enjoy yourself. Hope you enjoy yourself. I guess I should introduce myself. I'll probably edit out this introduction. I am Lucy Haze. I am the biggest Polish Jewish trans streamer. And I talk about history. I talk about politics. I cover Ukraine a lot. I cover the Ukraine war, which probably makes sense considering that I'm in Poland, and Poland is, let's just say, Poland has a big interest in this conflict, especially since more and more often I keep hearing from Polish politicians that Poland should prepare for war. So even President Zelensky has recently said that should Ukraine lose, Poland will be next. So here we have it. So I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you are enjoying my commentary. And without further ado, let's continue. So, as I've just said, no evidence, very weak claim. I'm just gonna be skeptical, even if I won't make a definite statement one way or the other. No evidence. He also said that radicals in Lithuania and Poland are producing drones to attack Belarus. Now this, again, this is a strong claim. Lithuania and Poland are cooperating in producing drones to attack Belarus. Another very strong claim without any sort of evidence. Right? Strong, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. It just makes sense. But there is none. It's basically, in my eyes, on the same level. The sort of accusation, in my eyes, is on the same level as the accusation that Russia has been making since the beginning of the war, that Poland at any moment now will just invade Ukraine and annex Western Ukraine, like Lviv, etc. It's just baseless accusations. Baseless because it has no basis in any sort of evidence. Right? The All Belarusian People's Assembly includes officials, members of local councils, unions, and pro-government activists, and operates in parallel with the parliament. Lithuanian military spokesman Gintautas Ciunis told journalists later Thursday that Tertel's claims were not true. This is nonsense. I can't find another word, Ciunis said. I mean, yeah. It's that those are basically my thoughts on it as well. It would make no sense for Lithuania, I guess supposedly in cooperation with Poland, to attack Belarus. Because that would be basically the equivalent of just attacking Russia outright. The Lithuanian Crisis Management Center said in a statement that the comments appeared aimed at the domestic audience in Belarus. It also say they could be regarded as continuous hostile provocation and an informational attack against Lithuania, which has nothing to do with reality. I am leaning towards that, okay? I am leaning towards it being nonsense, even though, again, I can't say 100% why one way or the other. But the probability of, in my opinion, my personal opinion, the probability of Lithuania having done this is extremely low. Okay? Belarus is a close ally of Russia, which has deployed tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, missiles and troops in the country. Authoritarian President Alexander Lukashenko has repeatedly boasted that Belarus would turn back any attempt by Ukraine of NATO countries to attack it. I think it should be or. I think it should have been that Belarus would turn back any attempt by Ukraine or NATO countries to attack it, not of. Should be or here. Although Belarusian forces have not entered the Russia-Ukraine war, the country has been a springboard for Russian forces that entered Ukraine's north. And I'm pretty sure, at least at the beginning of the full-scale invasion, some missiles have been fired from Belarusian territory. I might be mistaken, but I'm fairly certain that has been the case. I'm pretty certain that actually has been the case. Belarusian opposition leader Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, exiled in Lithuania, said Thursday that nobody aside from the Belarus leadership had heard about the drone attack on Minsk. It is possible that Lukashenko started believing his own nonsense and disinformation, Tsikhanouskaya added. Yeah. The Assembly on Thursday unanimously approved the new national security framework and the military doctrine that were put forward by Lukashenko to regulate the use of Russian nuclear weapons. Those, Lukashenko told the delegates, will allow Belarus to resist any aggressor and inflict irreparable damage on them. Political analysts say this is merely rhetoric and does not indicate plans by the Belarusian leader to get involved in military conflicts. It could be also a ploy to consolidate his power, or to maybe wrestle more control over the nukes on his territory. Lukashenko is increasing the level of bellicose rhetoric in order to please the Kremlin and receive additional funds to fight the common Western threat. Independent Belarusian analyst Valery Karbalevich told AP. Belarus has hosted Russian nuclear weapons, changed its military doctrine, and now expects payment from the Kremlin for this. And Lukashenko's loud statements should serve as a reminder of this, he said. So that's the first article. So I guess now we can sort of look into the reaction of Lithuania itself. Because there's, as far as I know about this whole situation, first there's the accusation of Belarus against Lithuania that it attacked it in cooperation with Poland, because Poland supposedly also produces drones together with Lithuania to attack Belarus. There's the response of Lithuania, and then there's the very, very vague, very recent response by Lukashenko, who said if they dare step even 1 foot into Belarus, we will respond with everything we have, including Russian resources. It just seems so bizarre to me to do something like this now. Like, there are so many theories that you could sort of, like, it could be an attempt to consolidate power by Lukashenko very much, like, because he will say the West is attacking us, Lithuania is attacking us, and only under my leadership will we be kept safe, to like the citizens, to sort of really strengthen his grip on power. But that's just speculation, that's just theory crafting on my part, you know? There's just, we don't know. We cannot know for certain what the reason is for this. We cannot even say 100%. I mean, we cannot definitely say 100% as to what happened. We have Belarus's word against Lithuania's word. But I will also add to this that the accuser, Belarus, presented no evidence of its claims, which, in my eyes, makes that whole claim much weaker. Kyiv Independent. Lithuania ridicules Belarusian claim of thwarted drone attack, which is basically an article from yesterday. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the article from yesterday.